How we doing? This is Ryan from AMS, and we're here with Josh Smith at the Ibanez booth in a very loud Anaheim Convention Center.
Yeah, it feels like NAMM of old this
Doesn't
year.
it?
Yeah, a little
It's
bit.
actually a good thing.
Yeah, it is. It's a very good thing.
Absolutely. And we're holding what looks to be a very sexy Josh Smith model Ibanez guitar.
It is a very sexy new guitar.
Tell us about it.
This is the FLATV2 or FLATV2.
Okay.
Follow up to, I guess it's almost 3 years ago.
Yep.
The FLATV came out, which is still my main guitar. And to me, this is like the logical kind of perfect doorstop or second bookend to the Flat V. So if you think about the Flat V as a 50s style guitar, ash body, maple neck,
right,
traditional pickup style. This is very much a 60s style guitar, alder body, rosewood board on the maple neck, and then I want it to be kind of like a modified 60s guitar.
Okay.
So with the PAF-style pickup.
Get your Keith Richards on.
Yeah, but also even when we wound the pickups with Seymour, I didn't want it to. You would think, oh, let's find the perfect pickup to go with my bridge pickup. Nah, I wanted to find one that was a good match, but not perfect, because I like the idea of, those guitars like Keith and those guys and Jeff Beck who just dropped the PAF in that guitar.
Right.
It wasn't perfectly wound to match their bridge pickup.
No.
And it kind of makes things a little more explosive. So it was funny. They brought pickups over for me to try.
Okay.
And we went between the perfect match and the not perfect match and in the middle. And I went for the not perfect match. It
On
was
purpose.
the best version.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that. I was reading an interview with Steve Lukather, and he was talking about, someone was talking about transparent overdrives. And he's like, no, when I step on a dirt pedal, I want it to smack me in the face. I want it to be filthy. And
Sure.
And it's the same thing here. It's like, well, I have a bridge pickup.
Yeah.
It does this. When I flip to the neck pickup, it's a different beast altogether.
Yeah, I want it to be thick and
Yeah.
fat, and in the middle position, I want it to be a sound that you don't get from a normal telly. You
Right.
know what I mean? And so this delivers on that. I really like, and even the pickup ring. Like I was insistent on,
Yeah.
hey, let's get the pickup ring on there, because then it looks more like a modded guitar. And I think actually the pickup ring it makes it look better. Like I think it looks great. Yeah.
Well, and it is. It's kind of a nastier cousin to the regular Flat 5. And, we were hearing you warm up when you were playing with Joe in Albany. And I was just struck by how clear and pure your tone was. And this sounds like it's meant to be a little more gnarly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So everything I do in all my chain, guitars, strings, pickups, cables, pedals, is all like to eliminate compression.
Mm-hmm.
To me, compression is an effect, and I'll use it as such. Like if I want to introduce it, bring it in, but I'm trying to eliminate it from my main thing so that I can have that maximum clarity and, most importantly, maximum dynamics, maximum dynamic range. So yeah, this one I want it to be, on the bridge pickup, it's still very clear and dynamic, but I wanted a little more oomph. This is like the Rock Machine answer to the Flat 5.
Well, and that's the thing, too. I think a lot of people forget that Led Zeppelin 1 was mainly played on a Telly bridge pickup.
Absolutely.
And that's pretty gnarly, too.
Well, Tellys are already inherently, in my opinion, the most versatile guitar on the planet. There's some things that excel at one thing better than a Telly or the other, but there's no other guitar that I could take to any situation where you're putting sheet music in front of me and I got to play show tunes, or I got to play jazz or R&B or blues or rock or country, where I can do it all with that guitar without knowing what I'm getting into. And I've always felt that way.
You saw the Wrecking Crew documentary?
Absolutely.
To ask Tommy Tedesco, right?
Yeah.
There was any given day, he's like, this is my hammer. I bring it in and I'm going to play.
Exactly.
I'm going to play show tunes. I'm going to play a rock song. And you could play it dirty. You could play it clean. And just to think that Leo Fender got it right 70 years ago.
It's mind-boggling.
It really is.
Yeah.
And to think that this style of guitar, obviously we won't talk about that brand, but in terms of it's the platform for anything you want to do to it.
It's unbelievable. There's some things on here that are updates. You know what I mean? So there's titanium saddles on here. There's very purposeful pots and caps chosen for things that I like and that go with my pickups. But okay, there's, a tilted control because I think that's really handy and feels good. But this is a slab body guitar that's essentially the same recipe. It's unreal.
It is.
Yeah.
But again, that's the beauty of it. When you put that guitar or that style of guitar in someone's hands, there's Andy Timmons. We saw Tony McAlpine. You're here. It's going to sound like every different player that picks it up.
Yeah, that's the other thing for me personally about a T-style guitar. It's the only guitar that when I pick it up, there's no thinking involved as far as influences. Even though I have many great influences who are Telly players, I don't immediately start thinking of them when I pick up this guitar. I just play like myself.
Right.
When I pick up a Strat, I'm thinking about Stevie Ray Vaughan and Jimi Hendrix and Jeff Beck and Curtis Mayfield and all these people that are my heroes.
Sure.
When I pick up a 335, thinking about B.B. King instantaneously and about Larry Carlton and Otis Rush. You know, when I pick up a Les Paul or a solid body humbucker guitar, I'm thinking about Robin Ford or you know, it immediately I change the way I play.
Sure.
When I play this guitar, there's no thinking. I'm just me.
That's like the ultimate endorsement right there when you think about it.
Yeah.
And so you got to work with the guys at Ibanez and really spec it out to the way you wanted it.
Very much so. I mean, a lot of the groundwork was done for the Flat 5.
Sure.
So they were so open to me making tweaks on this guitar that are not a part of any of the other guitars in the line, which was so exciting to me that they trust me to do that. So, I mean, still, this is the only current Ibanez with 21 frets. It's the only one that has a regular heel, you know?
Yeah.
No contours. It's the only one with vintage tuners. I mean, string down into the tuner.
I love those.
You know, it's
3-barrel bridge.
3-barrel bridge. I mean, it's, you know, it's very much, I would say, the most vintage Ibanez there is.
Well, and that's the thing. It's a testament to the fact that there are so many artists that play Ibanez, and it's not the typical scenario where they throw a bunch of money at them and they go. There are guys who've been playing these guitars, and once they become Ibanez artists, they stay.
Well, that was another big part of me wanting to do this with them, besides the fact that they approached me and they showed a real interest in working with me, which was an honor. Then knowing people like Andy, having a relationship with Andy, you know, I don't know Steve Vai very well, but I've met him, you know, and Paul Gilbert, Schofield, Benson. You look around, you see like you said, all these guys have stayed, and it's not just because of money.
No,
it's because the relationship that they've built with this company and with the people in the company. And already I feel that same way. Like everybody is so open and welcoming. And now I have to, I mean, I bought a house in Japan recently.
Oh, wow.
I'm a big Japan fan, you know, and so I have like this whole new relationship with guys who work in the company there.
Okay.
They were my friends, you know, and they helped me when I was getting realtors and things like that, you know. So it feels, I like the family aspect of Ibanez. It's really special.
Well, it's a real thing. I mean, just having dealt with them for as long as we have, you definitely see it. And when you pick up any of the artist models, of which there are many, they're shockingly different from one another. It's not like this is an Ibanez recipe. Josh is going to slap his name on it and thank you very much. I mean, they really listen to what artists want.
No, if anything, the Flat 5, I don't want to say it came before the regular AZS, but it was certainly concurrent. I remember walking into Rocky and Mike's office, and them, you know, the AZ had just started to be a success.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, we're thinking about doing this with a T-style. Are you in? And I'm like, yes. And there was nothing yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
So my model was coming up along the same time as the AZS. And they were totally open to, hey, well, that one's going to have contours, like we said, and this and that. I don't want any of that. Okay, no problem.
Really? Yeah. So there was nothing that you kind of threw at them, and they were like, nah.
There was nothing that I threw at them that they said no.
That's astonishing when you think about it.
No, even, I mean, as much as, you know, the knobs, we 3D printed, like, tons of knobs until we got the feel that I like, the height.
Yeah.
Or more importantly, the knurl.
Well, you're working that for volume swells.
Yeah, and tone swells. And so we got what I liked. And then the pots and caps. So the guitar I'd played for the last 20 years had a very, very expensive audiophile cap in it, not a guitar tone cap.
Did you know that going in?
I did know that going in.
Yeah.
So we went around buying caps that were of the same value and material, but that were affordable for us to use in a mass-produced guitar.
Right.
Until we found one that sounded right. You know, and so they were open to me doing all those little things.
Isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yeah. Yeah, very much.
And now you can never leave.
Well,
I mean,
I hope not to.
Yeah. Well, listen, what's next? Are you playing at the booth anytime soon? Or is
no,
this
I just did a signing with Andy. Which is great. Me and with Andy.
He's a difficult person.
He's the nicest dude in the world. We were just at mastering yesterday. I produced Andy's new record at my studio.
Okay.
So we went and mastered it yesterday, spent the day together, and I love hanging out with him. And no, that's it. Today is my only day here. I got to fly to Nashville tomorrow, start producing a new record for Eric Gales on Saturday.
That's the smartest thing I think you've probably ever done. Being a hotshot guitar player, which you are, you're like, but I can produce too. I mean, it keeps you constantly busy and kind of inspired.
It definitely keeps me really busy. I didn't think it would ever be what it is, like a thing. It's become a real thing. Where either on my own or then Joe and I in tandem, we produce sometimes 10 records a year, or I do, and between the ones we do together and the ones I do on my own. So I never thought that would be the case, but I so enjoy it. It's become a huge part of my fulfillment and creativity. You know, I need it. It's just as equal to,
it's gratifying,
improvising and playing the way that I improvise when I'm arranging tunes or engineering or things like that. I really love doing it.
So let's leave it with this. What is it that you bring when you're like, okay, I'm going to produce something? It could be 10 different acts a year. When you put your producer hat on, are you going, I want to put the Josh Smith stamp on this? Or are you going, no, I'm just putting a magnifying glass on that artist and bringing out?
Yeah, no, there's definitely not a Josh Smith stamp that I'm trying to put on anything. Mostly it's a couple tenets of production for me. One is trying to take the vision the artist has for the project, whether I necessarily think it's exactly the right vision or not, and making it better without going counter against them. You know what I mean?
That's not easy to do.
No, it's not. You have to know there's some psychology involved to production for sure. Some people need the whip, some need the carrot. You know what I mean? To get the best out of them.
Yeah, okay.
So you're trying to get the best out of them to realize their vision and also maybe make it way better than they even thought it could be. So there's that aspect to it. And then there's the growth aspect for me. Every record I do with another artist gives me an opportunity to see things from a different perspective.
Are you like, oh, I'm stealing that?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, so like getting to be around Andy and hearing him, we play guitar such a different way. You know, so hearing the way that he plays something melody-wise, or the way he hears something or approaches something, and immediately I'm going to add that to my bag and take that to future projects, or even just to my playing. You know what I mean? So I love that aspect of it as well.
So you're pretty lucky.
I'm very lucky. I get to play guitar for a living, almost pay my bills on time, almost all the time. We're all, it's still music business. It's not easy, but I mean, the fact that anybody cares about what I do, and Ibanez wants to make guitars that I help design and people will pay for them. All this stuff is just like, can I just keep it going forever?
The hard work's paying off. And we even noticed that when we did the Joe Bonamassa interview, people were like, Josh Smith's right there. Why aren't you talking to him? Like, people were saying it in the comments. Yeah. So you're doing something right.
I noticed that too. Like, it's been I'm 45 years old. I've been doing this like Joe since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it's been a casual process every year, building up my name, my brand, my abilities too, my talent, my skills. I work hard on this stuff. Like you said, to make myself a better player, to make myself a better arranger, a better producer, a better engineer. That stuff means a lot to me. If I'm not growing, I'm really depressed if I'm not moving forward.
Yeah, but I think that much is obvious. It's the results of all the little things you care about, and I think that's what people can relate to.
I hope so.
And that's why they ask you to produce them.
Yeah, well, keep asking. I love doing it.
Yeah. If you want to find Josh, here's his email address. We'll put it at the bottom. Yeah. Thanks for the time, man. I know this was impromptu. I appreciate you taking the time.
Happy to, man. Please check out this guitar. If you're on the fence about the Flat 5, just find one in a store. I guarantee you it'll sway you.
Oh, absolutely. And you can find it at AmericanMusical.com.
That's right.